Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. Nick Newman stands his ground like a man with everything to lose and nothing left to fear, indeed as the walls near and around him in Genoa City. Despite mounting pressure from every direction, Nick refuses to retreat when it comes to Phyllis, determined that responsibility eventually matters further than fidelity. He makes it clear, to Sharon, to Victor, and indeed to himself, that enabling Phyllis any longer would be a treason of everything he claims to stand for. But Nick's stubborn resoluteness comes at a dangerous cost. Ignoring unequivocal Croker's orders to rest, he pushes himself harder than ever, induced that decelerating down now would hand his adversaries a palm. Sharon watches helplessly as Nick's physical condition visibly deteriorates, the lines of strain heightening on his face, his temper glaring more fluently, his body transferring advising signals he refuses to heed. Her fear isn't just about Nick presently, it's about the ripple effect his collapse could have on their children, on Phyllis, and on the fragile balance of power in the Newman family. Victor Newman, meanwhile, receives explosive intel from Sienna that confirms his darkest reservations. Nick has been maneuvering behind the scenes in ways Victor no way anticipated, and clearly no way approved. To Victor, this isn't just business, it's particular. The disclosure flips a switch, and the Newman primogenitor shifts decisively into attack mode. Any moping restraint evaporates as Victor prepares for a direct battle with Matt Clark, signaling that tactfulness is officially dead. Inside Newman Enterprises, the atmosphere crackles with urgency as Victoria and Adam do the unbelievable, they put their contest away. Fating that the stakes are far bigger than either of them, the siblings join forces to limit farther damage, executing rapid-fire fire opinions designed to stabilize the company before Victor's scorched earth tactics enkindle a full-bloated commercial war. Their uneasy alliance doesn't go unnoticed, and Nate still steps in to support Victoria, offering both comfort and counsel as the pressure threatens to crush her. Effects turn sprucely particular when Victor walks in on Nikki and Jack hugging. The sight hits him like a gut punch, continuing injuries he no way truly healed. In that moment, Victor's sense of treason deepens, his resentment toward Jack reigniting with a ferocity that shocks indeed Nikki. Words are changed, lines are crossed, and Victor makes it crystal clear that Jack Abbott has just placed himself exactly in the crosshairs. Latterly, Victor puts Jack on notice in no uncertain terms, there will be consequences. At the same time, Victor expands his warpath, putting both Phyllis and Kane on notice as well. No bone is untouchable presently, and Victor intends to remind Genoa City exactly who still holds the power. Across city, Phyllis stands her ground with Kane as their power struggle escalates into open warfare. Neither is willing to blink, and the pressure between them grows decreasingly unpredictable. Victoria, seeing weakness, targets Kane where it hurts most, applying strategic pressure designed not just to destabilize his influence but to rattle his sense of control. Victor follows suit, hitting Kane from another angle entirely, leaving him scrabbling to maintain his footing as abettors waver and adversaries near in. Kane's world begins to cock, and the cracks are insolvable to ignore. Billy Abbott, meanwhile, finds himself cornered by Sally Spectra. What started as trust snappily unravels when Sally is blindsided by Billy's reckless decision timber. She realizes with painful clarity that his precedences haven't changed the way she believed. This time, however, Sally refuses to absorb the fallout still. She forces Billy's hand, demanding responsibility and action, leaving him with no room to dodge the consequences. Victoria latterly confronts Billy herself, holding him responsible for yet another round of choices that have hovered the family's stability and credibility. The communication is blunt: Billy doesn't get horizonless alternate chances. While the grown-ups wage war, trouble beverages for Abby and Devon as unsettling developments allude that their family's stability is under serious trouble. Subtle signs snappily give way to shocking news that leaves them reeling, forcing them to question everything they allowed was secure. Their world is turned upside down, and the fear of losing what they've erected hangs heavy in the air. The weight of the unknown presses in, and neither Abby nor Devon is prepared for what's coming next. Away, Mariah Copeland is visited by a communication from Ian Ward that drags her reverse into undetermined trauma girding Dominic. The words strike a wimwam GENOA completely healed, stirring fear, guilt, and a darkness she allowed she'd buried. As the emotional fallout intensifies, Mariah begins to helical, defying a side of herself she's desperately tried to overrun. The pull is strong and this time, she doesn't repel it. Mariah visits her dark side, and soon after, she makes a life-altering decision. She hits the road. Leaving Genoa City before, Mariah goes on the move, doubtful of where she's headed but certain she can't stay. Her departure sends shockwaves through the people who love her, especially Abby and Devon, who are formerly floundering to keep their family complete. Sharon's worries extend beyond Nick as she grows decreasingly concerned about Noah's future with Sienna. Dubiities creep in as Sharon questions Sienna's influence and intentions, seeing peril lurking just beneath the face. Meanwhile, Nick and Sharon eventually unite in a rare moment of alignment as they hold Phyllis responsible for her conduct, refusing to shield her from the consequences any longer. The battle is raw, emotional, and long overdue, and it leaves Phyllis shaken, forced to face the reality that her safety net is rasping presto. In quieter corners of Genoa City, Audra, Holden, and Amy work toward uneasy amends, cautiously continuing connections shaped by participated history and moping emotional scars. Old injuries resurface indeed as they essay to move forward, and when Audra receives a tempting offer, the balance threatens to cock formally more. The choice before her could change everything, and the cost may be advanced than she's willing to admit. Chelsea, meanwhile, steps up in a critical moment, proving her fidelity and earning renewed trust from Nikki. Latterly, Chelsea reveals a secret that could shift alliances and review connections, leaving Nikki stunned and reflective. Kyle and Claire take time to address untreated business, shelling back layers of undetermined pressure that have dallied far too long. Adam, watching the chaos unfold, jests a surprising change of heart, one that could alter his line and his place within the Newman family. Whether it's redemption or another calculated pivot remains to be seen. As Genoa City braces for the fallout, Victor's plots continue to ripple outward, destabilizing adversaries and abettors likewise. Lines are drawn, commitment tested, and secrets exposed. Nick's health teeters on the point, Mariah disappears into the unknown, and Abby and Devon face news that could shatter their world ever. With power struggles enhancing, feelings running grandly, and peril lurking around every corner, the drama is only just beginning. Tune in coming week, because in Genoa City, standing your ground can bring you everything, and running down might be the most dangerous move of all. Nick stands his ground as Mariah goes on the move. Tune in to find out about the drama passing in Genoa City. Nick stands his ground when it comes to Phyllis, and Mariah ends up on the move. Plus, Billy's hand is forced by Sally, and so much more. Tune in coming week to catch all the action in Genoa City. Victor entered precious intel from Sienna that verified his worst reservations about what Nick had planned. Inside Newman, Victoria and Adam put their contest away and worked together to limit farther damage, fating the stakes were bigger than either of them. Meanwhile, Nick ignored his Croker's orders, refusing to decelerate down despite mounting concern that his physical condition was formally deteriorating. Victor shifted into attack mode as he prepared for a direct battle with Matt Clark, signaling that restraint was no longer an option. Nikki took note when Chelsea stepped up in a critical moment, proving her fidelity and earning renewed trust. Away, Victoria brazened Billy and held him responsible for reckless opinions that formerly again hovered the family's stability and credibility. Victor walked in on Nikki and Jack hugging, and that incontinently made everything particular. The hassle restarted old injuries and strengthened Victor's sense of treason. At the same time, Sally was blindsided by Billy's decision timber, realizing his proceedances had shifted the way she believed. Across city, Phyllis stood her ground with Kane, refusing to back down as their power struggle intensified. Victor put Jack on notice, making it clear that lines had been crossed and consequences were ineluctable. As pressures mounted, Sharon grew decreasingly upset about Nick's condition. Stewing his turn down to rest could lead to serious impacts. Meanwhile, Victoria targeted Kane where it hurt most, applying pressure designed to destabilize both his influence and his sense of control. Trouble impended for Abby and Devon as unsettling developments suggested that their family's stability was under trouble. Mariah entered a creepy communication from Ian that stirred undetermined trauma over Dominic and left her shaken. Away, Audra, Holden, and Amy worked toward uneasy amends, cautiously continuing connections shaped by participated history and moping emotional fallout. Victor hits Kane where it hurts. Sharon worries about Noah's future with Sienna. Victoria steps up to cover her family's heritage. Victor puts Phyllis and Kane on notice. Sally forces Billy's hand. Mariah visits her dark side. Devon and Abby's world is turned upside down. Nate comforts Victoria. Audra receives a tempting offer. Chelsea reveals a secret to Nikki. Kyle and Claire bandy untreated business. Adam has a change of heart. Nick and Sharon hold Phyllis responsible for her conduct. Abby and Devon admit shocking news. Mariah hits the road. Picking up in the fate of Mariah's unforeseen departure, Genoa City rolls from the shockwaves left before. No bone. Feels the void more sprucely than Abby and Devon, whose formerly fragile sense of stability begins to fracture under the weight of unanswered questions. Abby can't shake the feeling that Mariah leaving wasn't just about Ian's haunting communication, it was about commodity darker, commodity near to home. Devon tries to be the steady one, but indeed he senses that the ground beneath their family is shifting. Also the shocking news eventually lands, and it's worse than either of them imagined. A disclosure tied to Dominic's history threatens to unravel times of hard-fought mending, forcing Abby and Devon to defy the possibility that someone has been manipulating events from the murk for far longer than they ever suspected. As Abby spirals between wrathfulness and fear, Devon struggles with guilt, wondering if his focus away left them vulnerable. The couple is pushed to their limits, arguing not just about what to do next, but about whether they can truly cover their family moving forward. The extremity exposes old injuries and undetermined resentments, making it sorrowfully clear that love alone may not be enough this time. And just when they suppose effects can't get worse, another unsettling detail emerges, evidence that Mariah's decision to leave may have been the first move in a much larger, far more dangerous chain of events. Meanwhile, Mariah's trip takes a disquieting turn as she travels deeper into Strange Home, both physically and emotionally. Haunted by recollections of Ian and the choices she made under his influence, Mariah finds herself defying the darkest corridor of her history. The road offers no peace, only reflection, and with every affair she puts between herself and Genoa City, the temptation to vanish entirely grows stronger. She tells herself she's doing this to cover the people she loves, but the verity is harder to face. Mariah isn't sure she trusts herself presently. As old instincts resurface, the line between survival and tone destruction becomes dangerously thin. Back in Genoa City, Nick's turndown to decelerate down reaches a breaking point. Despite Sharon's pleas and his Croker's dire warnings, Nick continues to push himself, determined to maintain control in a world that feels decreasingly hostile. But his body eventually revolutionists. A shocking occasion leaves Sharon shaken to her core, forcing Nick to defy the reality that his strength has limits. The incident sparks a fierce argument between them, with Sharon criminating Nick of risking everything, including his life, as tool of stubborn pride. Nick fires back that stepping away now would allow Victor to mandate the future, commodity he refuses to let be. Their clash is emotional and raw, emphasizing just how high the stakes have come. Victor, for his part, wastes no time exploiting any sign of weakness. Armed with Sienna's intel and fueled by the perceived treason involving Nikki and Jack, Victor intensifies his descent. His battle with Matt Clark becomes ineluctable, and when it eventually happens, it's net. Victor makes it clear that he's done playing defense, anyone standing in his way will be crushed. The hassle sends ripples through the business world, driving fear among those who know what Victor is able of when he feels cornered. Inside Newman Enterprises, Victoria and Adam work overtime to contain the fallout, their temporary armistice tested as new pitfalls crop from unanticipated directions. Victoria, formerly under immense pressure, finds herself leaning more heavily on Nate. His quiet support becomes a lifeline, and their bond deepens as they navigate the chaos together. Nate encourages Victoria to trust her instincts, reminding her that guarding the Newman heritage doesn't mean immolating her own well-being. Still, Victoria can't ignore the growing sense that every move she makes is being scanned, not just by rivals, but by her own family. The weight of anticipation presses down hard, and cracks begin to show. Adam, watching his siblings struggle, undergoes his own internal reckoning. His change of heart isn't unforeseen. It's the result of seeing how near the family is to crumpling. For the first time in a long while, Adam considers the possibility of choosing consanity over revenge. Whether his intentions are genuine or strategic remains unclear, but his conduct alludes at a shift that could alter the family dynamic in profound ways. Away, Billy faces the consequences of Sally forcing his hand. The claim leaves him rattled, stripped of defenses and forced to defy his pattern of tone sabotage. Sally, no longer willing to be contributory damage in Billy's endless cycle, makes it clear that this is his last chance. Her resoluteness shocks Billy into a moment of painful tone mindfulness. When Victoria laterally corners him, her disappointment cuts deeper than wrathfulness ever could. She tells him bluntly that the family can't keep drawing up his messes, and this time, she means it. Phyllis, meanwhile, finds herself decreasingly insulated as Nick and Sharon refuse to shield her any longer. Being held responsible is a bitter lozenge to swallow, and Phyllis switches out, criminating them of treason. But beneath the fury is fear that she's eventually running out of abettors. Her power struggle with Kane continues to escalate, each encounter more unpredictable than the last. Victoria's targeted pressure and Victor's advised strikes leave Kane scrabbling, his confidence shaken as the walls near in. For the first time, Kane realizes he may have undervalued the depth of the Newman family's resoluteness. Victor's warpath doesn't stop there. He puts Jack exactly in his sights, reminding him that old history doesn't entitlement impunity. Jack, shaken by Victor's intensity, tries to reason with Nikki, prompting her to help lessen the situation. But Nikki is torn, caught between fidelity to Victor and moping passions for Jack that refuse to vanish. Chelsea's before show of fidelity, and the secret she reveals adds another subcast of complexity, forcing Nikki to review who she can truly trust. Across city, Sharon's concern shifts between Nick's health and Noah's future with Sienna. Her apprehension grows stronger as subtle red flags crop, fueling her dubitation that Sienna's presence in their lives may bring further peril than occasion. Sharon confides in Faith, floundering with the fear that history may be repeating itself in ways she can't control. The motherly instinct to cover clashes with the painful reality that her children must make their own choices. In quieter moments, Audra grapples with the tempting offer placed before her. The occasion promises power and redemption, but at a steep emotional cost. Holden and Amy smell her vacillation, their uneasy amends hanging in the balance. Old patterns hang to resurface, and Audra must decide whether she's truly ready to break free from her history or fated to repeat it. Kyle and Claire's discussion about untreated business opens doors neither of them anticipated. Long-suppressed passions come to the face, forcing both to defy trueness they've avoided. The exchange is honest, uncomfortable, and eventually transformative, intimating at a future that could either heal old injuries or produce entirely new bones. As the week barrels toward its climax, Genoa City feels like a greasepaint cask. Mariah's absence leaves a haunting silence, Nick's health hangs in the balance, and Abby and Devon brace for a future they no way imagined. Victor's grip tightens, alliances shift, and secrets poach just beneath the face. Every character stands at a crossroads, knowing that one wrong move could change everything. And just when it seems like the storm has reached its peak, a final twist looms, one that promises to pull Mariah back into the chaos she tried to escape and force the people she loves to defy the consequences of standing their ground or walking down. In Genoa City, no bone escapes unscathed, and the coming chapter pledges indeed more heartbreak, treason, and explosive exposures still to come. The brewing twist begins to take shape as whispers ripple through Genoa City, the kind that start still but carry the unmistakable pledge of desolation. It starts with a single call, one that goes unanswered at first, also an alternate, and a third. Abby's phone lights over late at night with an strange number, and when she eventually listens to the voicemail, her blood runs cold. It's Mariah. Her voice is strained, uneven, as if she's fighting to keep control. She doesn't say where she is, only that commodity has gone wrong and that Dominic's name is at the center of it all. The communication cuts off suddenly, leaving Abby and Devon gaping at each other in stupefied silence, the weight of dread settling heavily between them. Devon incontinently goes into action mode, determined not to lose Mariah the way they nearly lost her ahead. Abby, still, is torn between fear and wrathfulness that Mariah would put herself in peril again, and sweat that whatever she stumbled into could put their entire family at threat. The consummation hits hard. Mariah didn't just leave to run from her demons, she left because she believed she was running toward commodity she had to face alone. And now, that choice may have placed her directly in detriment's way.